Hi there, thank you for clicking on this video. My name is Cece. Today I wanted to talk about The Wilds because I have seen this show multiple times now. I've seen it myself, I've seen it with my twin sister, and I have really been wanting to talk about it. But also, I have got to get ready to take a photo for my new ID for my new university that I'm getting in. So I wanted to put on some makeup for that, but I thought I could just combine the two. I could just talk about The Wilds while I do my makeup. So yeah, if you like that format, maybe I'll do videos in the future like that. A lot of the makeup I'll be using is theater makeup because I am a theater major and I want to put this makeup to use. But The Wilds, oh my gosh. As someone who is getting like kind of tired of reboots and sequels and stuff like that, The Wilds is so original. Like, I mean, some people argue that, but people will argue about originality in like anything. But in my opinion, The Wilds is like, it's unique, it's original. The characters all bring something new to the table. Their stories are so one of a kind, and some of them are really relatable, which I'll get into. If I didn't put a spoiler warning in it yet, this is a reminder to my editing self to put that in the beginning, because I know I'll be getting into it. Usually when I talk about films and stuff at this point, I'll have like a list to go off of, and then I'll just like talk based on that list that I made. But I have not made a list or anything this time, so I'm just going to be saying whatever comes to my mind, and it'll probably be the same. The show as a whole is about these 8 girls who are sent, well, they're not sent, they are supposed to be, they think they're going to like this summer weekend camp kind of thing where it's like all about like girl power and stuff, when in reality, they are sent to, I think I put a lot of foundation on me. The plane is crashing, or it's crashing, and they are stuck on this island. They're stuck on this, well, they're stuck on this island. When in reality, there's like this woman who's trying to do this like experiment project that these girls did not volunteer for. And the stuff that they have to go through for this thing that like they didn't even volunteer for, it's so like this woman that's in charge of it, I really don't even remember her name. I absolutely hate her. Like, girl, what is up with you? I think in terms of the main characters, I'm going to start out with Leah, since she is the one that we see first. Leah, I don't think Leah was ever my favorite of them. I love everyone's stories so much, but Leah is just kind of like there for me. She's there, but never really my favorite story. Her whole thing is that she's in love with this really pervy, creepy old guy, which thank goodness this show is not romanticizing the whole like old guy with a high school girl thing, because so many shows do that, but this show doesn't. This show shows it for what it really is creepy, toxic. I've not put on highlight and shadow in so long. Besides that, she was the one out of all of them that like was suspicious of the island. And that's actually nice. That's like probably my favorite thing about her, is that like she could actually tell like there was weird stuff going on. Like that mannequin that they clearly saw go back into the ocean suddenly appearing like in the middle of the island. Nobody bats an eye except for her. Granted, they're all really high when that happens, but still. But moving on, let's go to Fatin. Her story is one of the tragic ones. She's put through all of this. She has to constantly be working on like the violin because her mom is forcing her to do that. And she thought like her dad was all she had, but it turns out her dad is a cheating little person. And so Fatin tries to stick up for her family, but no one is on her side for that. They sent her to the island, and her not wanting to do anything on the island, it has like a real reason for why, because she was constantly overworked off of the island. And it's just, like I explained in my Buffy video, it's usually the popular mean girls that like I get attached to. And so in this case, it was her that I got attached to. I'll talk about the twins next, but first Rachel. She was doing like swim stuff, but it turns out that like she was going to be kicked off because she didn't necessarily fit their standards anymore. And I don't know if she was ever one of my favorites either. And Nora, oh Nora's story. There was this guy that she liked when she was going to be part of this special college in the sciences. He was so wholesome and so cute. Like, when I was watching them together, I was like, oh my gosh, I want a relationship like this going into university. It was just so cute and wholesome. And there was also like the one part where she was like introducing her twin sister to him, and my twin sister or my best friend being like, girl, like, this is the guy you went with. There were two people on the island that were like, I guess, special agents for the organization, and one of them was this girl who was not necessarily one of the 8 main girls, and then the other one was Nora. The other girl, her real name was Lynn, but she was acting as this girl named Jeanette, and her story was pretty sad too, but at the same time it was like, why are you volunteering for something like this? Nora really wanted to help her sister, and so that's how they ended up on the island. But it was like, girl, like, there are I don't know though, because my sister thinks that she knew that they were going to be put on an island, but I don't think she knew. I don't know if they ever said she knew that they were all going to be put on this island. I think she was put in this situation just as much as them, except she was also like working for the organization. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's just what my theory is on it. But I don't know if they explain that already or if they will explain it. Maybe I'll be wrong. Who knows? I have been waiting to talk about these two the entire video, and I don't think I can hold back on talking about them anymore. Shelby and Tony, literally my 2 favorite characters in this series. I love them so much. I'm gonna go into Shelby first, just because in the beginning, I did not really like her because she was just very preppy, and she was also very into her religion and stuff, which comes in handy with her backstory. And Tony is this gay girl that is on the basketball team. There was an episode where like the girls were eating like these weird shellfish thingies. I don't know if that's what it was actually called, but shellfish is the name that's appearing in my head. And Tony was kind of licking this shell like something, and like the girls were cheering her on, and then that led to Shelby making it very obvious that she was like homophobic. And there were like stuff before that where Tony and Shelby had like these interactions, and I was like, okay, maybe what's gonna happen is she's gonna start out in the series as like this homophobic girl, but like eventually towards the end she's gonna end up being like a really great ally. My sister, on the other hand, kind of knew that they were gonna end up together. Like, she could just tell, so that really says something about my like really bad gaydar. But it was around the time when they were eating that shellfish and like Shelby was just not having it that I kind of thought, oh, there's actually chemistry between Tony and Shelby. Oh my gosh, this eyeliner is gonna be so terrible. I need to just put this on and not talk while I'm putting it on. And so I kind of realized that they'd be together like when she was like in the shellfish situation, and like when she gave Tony the pill to like help her feel better, because they like all got an allergic reaction except for Shelby to that, because Shelby didn't eat the shellfish in the first place because she's allergic to shellfish. And Shelby's backstory, oh my gosh, it hit me. Being all a part of this religion that puts so much pressure on you, and her dad was so creepy and homophobic. And she had this friend who like they were having a good time together, and they kissed, and the family found out about that and were really mad at Shelby. And she and Shelby went into this thing where she was like, okay, like, it'll never happen again. And I felt so bad for her. This is the episode when I was like, okay, Shelby is my favorite character. That is when she became my favorite character of the show, because her backstory hit me so hard, and it is so close to home. It just really got to me. And Tony is so good for her. Like, they have so much chemistry together. They are one of my favorite queer couples on a film TV thing now. I'm like really rooting for them. They better end up together. But just like Shelby's story, I feel like I want to go so deep into this, but I don't want to say too much, because I feel like talking about Shelby as a whole character, I feel like that's something I can just dive into as like a separate video, just one separate video just talking about Shelby, and maybe Tony too, and just talking about like those two, because those two are my favorite characters. So there's so much I could say about them, but I don't want to just spend the entire video talking about them because there's like literally other characters in this video to talk about too, but I don't know how much I said about Toni yet. So Toni is this basketball playing girl. She really had a crush on this girl in a marching band, I think, that was like in the bleachers playing the band, and she was like the sports girl. That's giving off You Belong With Me vibes. But anyways, they went on some dates. They had a really good time, and Toni accidentally hurt her because there were these creepy guys that were like coming up to them and stuff, and Toni was fighting back because they were just being really like going up to them and like getting really close. It was so uncomfy. But Toni was like standing up for her girl and accidentally hit her girl in the process of fighting the guys. So Toni and Shelby had these things where they both hurt these girls that they had a crush on, and Shelby was really scared to get into it. But, you know, Toni made a really good point. You're literally on just this island. No one is putting pressure on you to behave like a certain way. You have free will. Just do whatever you want. They really provide this balance, yet this freeing feeling for each other. And I love it so much. They are such a good couple. And I really hope that they end up together however long The Wilds continues. They are my favorite characters, and I'm not gonna go any more into it. Otherwise, I'm gonna spend the entire rest of this video just talking about those two, and there's still characters I need to talk about. Who have I not talked about yet? Oh my gosh, I literally forgot Toni's friend's name. But her friend was so precious and like so positive. Well, that also happens to be a tragic part of her backstory about like her being positive. You need to like kind of face reality. But I felt so bad for her. Like, she did not deserve, well, none of them deserved any of this. There's literally one girl that I'm missing. Dot was the one I was forgetting. I feel so bad for that because I actually really liked Dot. Her story with like her dad, that just really like got to my feels. Her having to like take care of her dad and spend her time in school getting the supplies in order to support her dad. While Leah was the person on the island that was like suspicious of things, Dot was the person who had like the most like survival skills on this island. She knew about building a fire. She knew about a lot of things that I can't really remember specifically, but she was the one on the island that knew how to do things. Her story was probably one of the most emotional ones, arguably, and her character was so nice too. But they all had like these unique characters. No one was like someone else. They all brought something original to this show that made it so much a better story. And the plot was really nice too. And at the end, I think there's like some kind of big plan that they were having where Shelby was gonna like distract everyone into helping her while Leah was able to get out and find like some kind of exit to help everyone get out. And that's like what my theory is. They didn't say at the end like what that was all about, but that's what my theory is for that. I'm just really excited to get to watch season 2. After I watch that, I can definitely do a video talking about that too. If you watched The Wilds, what did you think about it? Tell me about your favorite characters, your favorite storylines, what just like everything you thought about it in the comments below. If you didn't watch it and you were like watching my video, I strongly suggest you go watch it. It is such a good show. It's like one of my favorite shows right now. Like this video and subscribe for more. I have done other film reactions, and I will leave a playlist for it somewhere on the screen, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!